What's going on, smart people? It is exactly 16 hours until my classical mechanics midterm. The grind is well underway. It's actually sort of wrapping up. I said yesterday that I wanted to get to orbits. That way I could spend all today doing orbit stuff, and that's what I've been doing. The reason that I wanted to do that is because there is a shitload of material on orbits in the Goldstein classical mechanics textbook. Just for reference, the first two chapters of the book span about 70 pages, going over basic Lagrangian mechanics and just setting up that formalism as a whole. The central force problem takes up another 60 pages, which is chapter 3. Now, about half of that is split in between orbits and scattering problems, which is, since that's basically half the material, it took up roughly half the time of my studying, probably a little bit more just because it's also kind of difficult. You very well might say, Andrew, what could possibly be so hard about something traveling in like a circle around something? Let me read for you a passage from this wonderful textbook. The trigonometric and elliptical functions are special cases of generalized hypergeometric function integrals. I don't know if I'd heard of a hypergeometric function integral before classical mechanics, but needless to say, this whole exam preparation has just left my desk to be looking absolutely disgusting. I've even relapsed and fallen back into my monster habit. It's just so good. And poor Wolfgang here, she's just so distraught. I don't know. She doesn't know what to do with herself at this point. Yeah. I was doing that earlier. Something that has been super helpful throughout studying for this is the fact that our professor doesn't just give us a grade for the homework and then move on, and then it's like a bunch of guesswork as to what part we missed or why we got points taken off or what was wrong about the thing that we got points taken off for. Our professor actually does these handwritten solutions that he scans and passes out during class so that there's no guesswork like that. We know exactly the way that he would have pursued the problem. He leaves some things effectively as exercises, like where it goes from one train of thought to the next, and you have to be like, where did that come from? But I kind of like that because it forces me to not just read through the solutions, but to work through it myself after getting everything back. So when I go through his solutions, it makes me still work for it a little bit, which some people might not like. I don't mind it though. And I actually met with my professor today to get some of my fuzziness cleared up. Last video I mentioned that I wasn't quite clear what virtual displacement was. I knew how to apply everything, but it's always good to know exactly what each term of an equation stands for and what it's actually doing. So he cleared that kind of stuff up. I also let him know how I was studying for this exam. I said that I was, going through the book and going through all of the exercises, filtering out the ones that didn't really seem like examinable questions. And he said that was a really good way to go. The laugh that he had really seemed to imply that there's gonna be some exercise from the book that makes it to an exam question. I'm calling it, but we'll have to see. But he also said that more than anything, make sure that I truly understand how to solve all of the homework problems that we've gone over and understand the lecture notes. He made it seem like that's the most important thing. So I'm really looking forward to this exam being over with. That way I can finally get started on my homework that's due next week, because now I have a very long quantum mechanics homework, what seems to be a very long mathematical methods homework, as well as another classical mechanics homework assignment, and they're all more or less due around the same time. So I need to get started on that ASAP, but I don't want to until this exam is done. This stuff sucks right now, but it'll be worth it when I'm one day crowned Chancellor of Physics and Master of Karate and Friendship. I'll see you guys tomorrow.